Hey, hello folks, this is Andy here. Welcome to another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about something that a lot of people usually talk about when it comes to credit out there, and that you may already know. But the reason that I want to go back and talk about that again is because, I have worked with so many customers. I have checked too many credit reports from customers that I have been working with, people that I have been fixing their credit. And I have found out, I have realized that many of these people, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there are making the same mistakes, and is that they're not, respecting the law. They are violating the law. And what I mean by law is that you need to you need to know and to learn, and you need to nail these 5 things that I'm going to tell you right now that you may already know into your brain deeply right there, very deep right there, because you don't want to continue making these mistakes. I have seen these mistakes over and over again every time I check somebody's credit to fix the credit. All right? And it's that the law or the policy, you can call it whatever you want, but I call it the law of credit. It's this: 35% of credit, your 35% of your credit score is based on payment history. This is very important. Okay, it's based on your payment history. What I mean by that is, you have a credit card and you have to pay your bill. If you don't pay your bill on time, now you are totally in trouble, or you getting yourself into trouble right there. If you don't pay your bill on time, let's say today is the 18th, right? Well, you have to pay today. If you pay tomorrow, if you pay 2, 3, 4 days later, you're totally late. It doesn't matter if you're 1 day late, if you're 2 days late, 3 days, 4, 10, 30 days late, your score will start decreasing right there. These mistakes will start impacting on your credit negatively, tremendously as well. Okay? So you need to respect this one. As you can see, this is the first one, meaning this is the most important one. Your score can drop significantly if you start messing up with payment history. Start paying on time. If you don't remember when you have to pay, that's why it's important you start doing the auto pay. So if you don't remember, they will, deduct your payment out of your debit card or credit card, whatever, on time, so you don't pay late and you don't mess up with your credit. Here in this country, everybody knows that if you mess up with your credit and your credit starts suffering and decreasing a lot, then you're going to start getting through a lot of problems right here in this country, because in this country, this is a credit country. Credit is very important, and I'm going to tell you the reason why later on. The second thing you need to respect is 30% of your credit is based on your utilization. I have seen people, every time I check somebody's credit to fix the credit, I have found out these people are at 120. I have seen 120% utilization rate. I have seen even 150% utilization rate. Now, reason why? Maybe they don't know. They don't know about credit. That's the reason why I'm telling this, because even though many of you may know about this, there are certain people, they still don't know the rules. You call it the rule, the law, the policy, whatever, right? You need to respect this. It's very important. It's crucial. It's imperative. All right. 30% is your utilization rate. They are even teaching you and showing you how to utilize your credit right here. They're showing you the 35% is payment history and 30% is utilization. They don't want you to utilize more than 30%, and let me tell you the reason why. Let's say you have a credit card for $1,000 credit limit. If they say that you got to utilize only 30% of that, 1,000 times 30% is only $300 right there. That's exactly what you need to utilize, no more than that. I even advise and recommend and suggest people utilize less than 30%, 25, 20%, which is pretty good. But 30% is still good. Don't utilize more than 300. But let's say you have the credit card. You have a $1,000 credit limit. You utilize 900. You are 90%, you're about to maxing out a credit card. Now, I want you to tell me, and I want you to answer this question for yourself. Which one is easier to pay back? It is easier to pay back $900 or it's easier to pay back $300. If you like most people, then it will tell yourself that it's easier to pay $300. And the reason why the lenders and the banks and the FICO score say you cannot utilize more than 30% is because if you use $900 out of that credit card, all right, you're about to maxing out that credit card. They imply and they interpret that as you may even pay late or default on that payment. And that usually is happening because, like I told you before, I have been checking a lot of people's credit and credit report, and I have found that mistake right there because people is violating this law, these rules. And it's true. So they're usually telling you, that's the reason why I'm telling you, they're showing you and teaching you how to utilize your credit. You see, I have seen people, I heard one time that, credit is for important people. Usually, I don't believe that because first, let me say something. Everyone on this planet, every single person on this planet is important. All right. Now you have to see the connotation behind the word important people. I know that the person who said that, he was talking about and he was referring to important people as, people with money, with a lot of money, rich people, wealthy people. And I completely understood that. But anyway, even though, let's say you have a lot of money, credit is not for people who have a lot of money. Credit is for people who understand credit. Credit is for people who understand the game, because this is the game. The games that you have to learn, and it's mandatory that you learn this game, because if you don't learn this game in this country, then this country will get very, hard and difficult for you to live in, because everything is about credit. And I'm gonna give you the example. All right, but credit, the purpose of having credit in this country is not for you to brag about and say you have a lot of credit and then you can start using as much money as you want and as many times you start using your credit card as many times as you want. Because when you start doing that, here's what's going to happen. You're going to start messing up your credit and you're going to start messing up with your 30% utilization. Remember, the second one is 30% utilization. If you have 1,000 credit card, use only 300, or less than that, no more than that. Because basically, what they report to a credit bureau is the balance that you've been utilizing. That's why when you go to a credit report, they say this person has been utilizing 120%. That's bad. That's, impacting your credit. Okay? And then it will impact even stronger if you utilize a lot and then you're not able to pay back that money and you start paying late or you default on. So I want you to nail that into your brain. Even though you have seen this situation or you have heard about this 1,000 times before, it's very important. The third thing you need to take into account is that 15% of your credit is on your length of credit. What is length of credit? This is length of credit. You have a credit card, you've been using that credit card for 2 years, and then you have another credit card and you've been using that another card for 6 months. The credit card that you've been using for 2 years is worth so much more in point than the one you've been using for 6 months. That is length of credit. So the longer you keep an account and in good standing, the higher that credit card is in points. Okay? Compared to another one you have. The fourth thing that you need to know, and I want you to pay close attention to this one because this one is important, is a 10% is mix of credit. It's a mixture, credit mixture. Credit is a mix of credit you have. You need to know, maybe you know, but I say it anyway, that there are two types of credit. You have the revolving credit and you have installment credit. Right? Revolving credit is the one that you have to pay over and over again, and installment credit is when you have terms to pay that money back. An example of that is when you go to a dealership and you want to buy a car. That is auto finance right there. That is an installment credit. Or same thing happen when you want to buy a house and you have a mortgage. That is an installment credit, because at certain points you have to pay it back. That is installment credit. The reason why I told you that you need to pay close attention to this one is because it's very important. You need to pay close attention to this one because in this country, whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not, you have to borrow money anyhow, in any way. And let me give you an example. The same example I give you with a car. Let's say you go to a dealership and you want to buy a car, and you want to buy a car for $25,000. It's a very beautiful car, used car, but it's still, running well. Very beautiful car. It's $25,000. It has like 30,000 miles. And you want to buy the car. It's $25,000. How many people do you know that have $25,000 cash to pay for that car right there? Very few people. Maybe you don't know anybody. Maybe you do. It's very few. You can count in your hands. Same thing happened with a house. You want to purchase a house, and how many people do you know that have the money, cash, to pay for a house right there? I'm sorry, very few people. Not a lot of people have $100,000, $200,000 cash. That's the reason why credit in this country is very important, and that already answered what I told you. You are borrowing money anyhow, because when you are buying a car, you don't have the cash to pay for the car, and the person who's doing everything for you to get you that car in the dealership is dealing with banks for you to get you approved with those banks. You're borrowing money even though you are not talking to the banks directly. You're borrowing money. Same thing with the mortgage. You're borrowing money. You see why credit is important in this country? In today's day, you go to, a new neighborhood, you want to rent right there. Many of these lenders, let's say landlords, they are checking your credit to see how good you are with your money and in paying back. So that is the mix of credit. Mix of credit is very important. Why? Because someone who has a very good mix of credit, someone who manages properly and correctly a mix of credit is less risky, all right, than someone who doesn't have a mix of credit. You don't have a mix of credit, you become automatically, higher risky or higher risker than someone that has a mix of credit to the lender's eye. Okay? So the other 10% is a new credit. New credit is kind of like the mix of credit. This one is when you start adding new credit to your credit report. In order to do this one, you need to have a reason. Okay, if you're totally new with credit and you don't know anything about credit and you're watching this, I don't want you to start, adding new credit to your credit account, to your credit report without knowing the reason why. Usually when you start adding new credit to your credit, it's because you have a reason. Reason might be you want to take out a loan, you have a business, or you want to buy a house or something like that, and you want to show to the lenders that you are responsible with credit. And now you have a reason. But if you don't have a reason, you start adding new credit. Let me tell you exactly what happens if you start adding new credit. When you start adding new credit, usually you're pulling inquiries, all right? Some of those inquiries are soft inquiry, meaning it doesn't impact on your credit. Some are hard inquiry, it means it has an impact on your credit, and the impact that it has on your credit is like 3 to 4 or 5 points you lose right there in score. Okay? And you're also you also messing up with your length of credit, because now you have a credit card, you're adding so much credit, you add another credit card, and now that credit card that you have been using for a while, you're going to stop using that credit card because you don't know you adding another card and you got to use that card. And because you stop using the first card you have, guess what's going to happen? That card will become useless. And usually what lenders tends to do is that when a card becomes useless, it becomes useless in point, and they may even close your account. And I have found that mistake, and I have found that, mistake when I have checked a lot of people's credit over there. I have seen accounts that have been closed because they're not using that account, and it becomes useless in point, and they have to close that account. And now your credit decrease. Why? Because you add in credit, you don't know what to do with the credit, and now you have a credit card, and you don't even know what to do with the credit card. You don't know if you want to keep using that credit card, and then you get to a point where you either want to close that account or they close that account for you because you're not using that credit card because it became useless in point and it's in good standing. And I tell you something, whenever you have an account and that account is in good standing and you close that account, your score will decrease right there too. That's why you need to understand these 5 rules, these 5 things, these 5 laws, 5 policies is very important. Okay? Even though many people talk about these 5 things that I'm talking about here, over there on YouTube, you will find a lot of videos about this. I really like talking about this because this is all you need to know about credit. If you learn this game right here, these 5 things, if you learn it by heart, if you put these 5 things into your brain deeply, into your subconscious mind, you will start seeing how you will get improved and getting better with your credit, and you will start seeing how your credit will start increasing instead of decreasing, because you know this 5 things by heart. All right, by knowing these 5 things, then later on in the future you will start discovering strategies and everything that you can do to to spice your credit up, okay? To raise it up, to raise your credit. I hope you understand this. This is the video that I wanted to, give you for today. The information that I want to give you for today. I repeat, I know that you have been seeing this information, but this for me is the basic, is the foundation. This is like, for example, like when you want to build a house, all right, and the first thing you do to build that house is a foundation. You don't have a foundation, what's going to happen? You build a house without a foundation, and the house is going to collapse later on. And that's exactly what a lot of people is doing with credit. They want to start adding new credit. They want to have a lot of credit. They want to utilize too much credit without building the foundation, which is these 5, simple rules right here that you need to respect and you need to always take into account whenever you are dealing with credit. Remember, learning this game is very important from this country because this country is all about credit. I hope you like this video and stay tuned because maybe tomorrow, tomorrow I'm going to upload another video telling you about how you can get 25 to 70 point in credit score right there. Stay tuned for that video. I'm going to show you. It's very simple. Thank you very much, and I see you in my next video.